Welcome, everybody, to the Hoops Post Up. Today we are talking trade machine, and this time we are talking hot topic Andre Drummond.
That's right. There's a lot of NBA trade rumors these days, especially coming up to the February trade deadline. But a name that's been circulating quite a bit, especially if you follow Woj, which of course you do, because if you follow NBA, you better follow Woj. Andre Drummond could be on the move really soon. There's several teams, including the Hawks, believe it or not, that could be hot on his trail. So we're going to break down some of those possible scenarios. Let's go take a spin through the trade machine.
All right, so first up, let's take a look at the first scenario for Andre Drummond. Okay, so this time, let's take a look. Andre Drummond would go to the Hawks, right? That's who is in the news, right?
Supposedly rumored, yeah. This
Twitter
is now
feed is like blowing up with Woj's like tweets and everybody commenting on what's happening.
Yeah, Hawks Twitter, which is not the most active Twitter. I'll just tell you that if you don't already know. But yeah, there's a lot of people who might be excited in Atlanta. They need something to be excited for, honestly, besides Trey Young these days.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah.
true. So it seems weird because, again, you talk about these big name guys, these young, still young. It seems like Drummond's been in the league forever. It's been, what, a few years?
He's actually been in the league, what, 7 or 8 years? And it's crazy because to me, he's
He's still young. He's still a young guy.
very
He's
young.
26, I think. So this is a guy who's still a young player, could be a cornerstone for any franchise because leading the league in rebounds again. He's scoring damn near 20 points a game. So
Amazing.
I mean, this is a guy who's like a building block. But then you wonder, well, why is a team a bottom dweller, team that's fighting for the number one pick in the draft, like
Why
Atlanta?
would they give up? Why is Detroit? Oh my gosh, why are they wanting to trade Andre Drummond? Okay, this is what my team is starving for. This is what my team needs. Fine, if
Wait.
you're ready to give it up,
This is
then
not a
I'm
Spurs
ready.
episode. We've
I
done enough
am
Spurs.
ready to do this.
Anyway, you know what? We're not talking Heat either. But no, it's a fair question. Before we get into the details of the trade, why? I mean, should Detroit? Okay, well, why? First of all, why is Detroit wanting to trade Drummond?
Rebounder in the league? Why? That's what everybody need. Oh my gosh, that's
Any team. I mean, you think about it. Okay, well, Detroit.
so hard to come by.
Obviously, like today. I think they're 13-24. This is a team that doesn't look like it's headed for the playoffs. Although in the East at this point, right, you don't really need to win that many games just to make the playoffs. But still,
Oh,
headed
yeah.
downhill. And you probably saw the news about Blake Griffin. He's considering having season-ending knee surgery. Not for sure yet, but if it happens, I mean, the season's over, right?
Poor Detroit. Like that's heartbreaking because
Well,
didn't Blake just come back and now he's maybe off again,
yeah.
which has kind of been Blake's situation as of late.
It's tough. Well, that's the thing. This guy's been hurt, off and on his whole career. Came into the league hurt, right? And so knee, back, all these issues. So, anyways, Blake Griffin probably getting shut down. And at this point, it looks like Detroit's season might be over. But still, does that mean you just go and trade all your good assets?
No, that's insane to me. And I'm telling you, any NBA, right? Any NBA fan follows the Woj, and any time he drops something, we're like, what is it?
Drops the
What
bomb.
what's in the news, right? And I was shocked. I was shocked to hear that we were going to be talking about Andre. Seriously.
Well, it makes sense. Like you talk about a guy like Derrick Rose, that makes sense. A
Makes
little
sense.
older,
Older, ready to move on,
a
try
lot of
something
teams
different in his career.
could use a point
needing-
guard.
Yeah.
But I mean, to me, if you think what is Detroit going to get back, that's better than Andre Drummond. You're not going to get a guy who rebounds more, scores, and blocks shots. I mean,
And he's averaging almost 18 points per game. Someone who is leading you in rebounds.
teams should be jumping on this. I mean, no matter what. So I guess we'll just get this disclaimer out. First of all, any deal, I mean, I don't know. Are we going to give any of these deals a good grade for Detroit? Because Detroit shouldn't be trading Drummond at all. I mean, none of these deals should happen unless there's a team is giving up the farm for him, which I don't see happening. But let's see. Let's try it anyway. Let's see what happens. Do any of these deals make sense?
Right. Let's take a look. First up with the Hawks and the Pistons, obviously. The Hawks would get Andre. They're going to get him. They're going to get his salary as well, right? Almost 28 million.
But here's another point which you mentioned is, okay, well, what about, it's always comes down to the money, right? It all comes down to the money, whether it's rainy or snowy or sunny. But Andre Drummond does have, as it says, 2 years left in his deal, but just like DeMar DeRozan, that second one is a player option. So it is possible that after this season, he walks and they get nothing. So why trade him?
Are they nervous? Is he wanting to leave?
But that's the thing.
Is that what the conversation is going on?
He said he wants to stay in Detroit. So that's why it doesn't make sense.
In the locker room, he's getting along with his teammates. He's having no issues.
He said he actually likes it there. I'm not sure why, but he says he likes it in Detroit.
Oh, no, we love Detroit. Everything is
I've never been,
Detroit.
so I can't say anything about it. Or anyways, all right, so the point is, this is kind of hedging their bet, right? Detroit saying, you know what, let's just get it younger, or let's dump salary, get an expiring contract, and that looks like this first deal.
Okay, so Pistons would get Evan Turner, Alex Len, and a first-round pick in
this coming year.
This coming year.
So here's the thing, Evan Turner, if you see there,
and I see a little bit of a relief on cash.
Alex Len, 1 year contract. This is basically let's just
dump his salary and
hope for better next year
and try to rebuild.
And you get a first round pick, which is good. But again, this is not enough for me to get back, because who is Detroit realistically going to kind of lure in through free agency? Is Detroit kind of like one of those hotbeds, a free agent activity? I mean, come on, let's be honest. This isn't tough. Dump on Detroit episode, but I'm just saying.
No, it's not.
It's true.
But it's hard. It's hard when you're talking about those superstar players. Are they going to want to go to Detroit? Like, what's gonna lead them there? There's no Kawhi, there's no LeBron, so what's gonna get them?
And that's
there?
Another good point, exactly, because Blake's done, right? Drummond's gone. Is there another guy to pair up with, somebody else who has enough clout, enough, that relationship? They say, hey, because that's what it's all about, right? Building duos. There would be no duo, so this is pure salary dump. I don't like it. It doesn't really make sense.
It doesn't make sense for Detroit,
for our Hawks either, because
no.
All right, so
I'm gonna go C-. I'm gonna start off soft in the beginning. I'm going C-.
All right, I'll be first. C- too.
If you haven't seen us before in our trade machine, we give it a grade based on both sides, whether it's going to be positive, negative, whatever. We're rating both sides, and both sides of this deal for me is a C-.
Yeah, this grade isn't based on him and his situation.
No, not
whether
at all.
It's better or worse. This is just overall both sides, like you said.
Yeah.
Next.
Okay, so then we have him going to the Hawks again, and the Pistons this time, are going to get Jabari Parker with Evan Turner and Cam Reddish.
So now this makes more sense, because if you look,
Jabari has been
Jabari's been
very well. Coming in
really strong
for Collins, right?
That's right. Got a chance for increased minutes. Just kind of expected to be a veteran backup there. Role player, good player, still young too. It feels like he's been in the league for 30 years, but he's actually not even. He's 20, I think 26 also, right? 27. He's like the same age as Drummond. It's crazy.
Oh my gosh.
Anyways,
I would have to take a look a little bit deeper at what's going on here. Like, why are they giving up Jabari? Why are they giving up?
For Atlanta, does it really matter what they give up? They're not going anywhere either, right? They need some players to complement Trae Young.
Their team. Yes.
They just need they could use basically anything but a point guard. All right.
Right.
Giving up Jabari Parker is not going to hurt them either way. So here's what's interesting. I kind of like
definitely an asset that they can provide and entice them to make that trade.
Makes sense for them, and he's got a friendly contract, so definitely makes sense, like you said, as an asset to get a big guy like Drummond. Here's where it makes sense, because Detroit actually getting something back besides that, right? Evan Turner is that expiring contract. Jabari, nice player, but not a franchise, guy. Like, he's
Right.
not going to live up to
Right.
that
He's
standard
playing
anymore.
solid. He's doing well, but yes, not
Yeah,
going to take him to the next
not to the
level.
level of Drummond.
Right.
But then you have Cam Reddish, which is really interesting because this is kind of the risk reward. Got a guy who's a rookie, lots of potential, has been pretty inconsistent, but again, I mean, he's so young, you don't know what you're getting there yet.
Right.
Um, does Atlanta then take a chance because they have just a young team in general, right? They still have Hunter, they still have all these guys that could develop, and make a swap to get a big guy. And then Detroit says, well, now we have Reddish, he can kind of be the centerpiece.
It's true. It's true.
But that's the risk. You say, well, you know what? Maybe Reddish doesn't ever live up to his. Maybe he's like another Evan Turner, who's a good role player, but nothing great.
Without risk, there may not be a reward.
But what if Drummond doesn't come back next year and then we lost him for nothing? At least you got Reddish and you have a chance.
That is key because you said on his contract, he has that. Yes, it's a 2-year, but the next year is an expect. He could walk. Okay.
And just because he says he doesn't want, just because he says he likes it there now,
he does. He says he loves Detroit and he wants to be there. And you know what? I'm all for like players who have been there for a long time staying with their team and,
that would be great.
Establishing that for their home team.
But as a front office in Detroit, can you believe him? You're just going to take his word?
You can't.
And then what if some guy, whoever his best friend is,
can't.
right, his man and some other teams say, hey, let's team up. And then that's it. He's gone.
And it happens.
So, all the time.
All the time. So let's take a grade to this one.
Okay, so this already knows is going to be better than the first deal with Atlanta.
Yes. I would say a B minus. I would say a B minus for this deal for me because Pistons, they're getting some quality players. I don't know if it's enough for the Hawks, but yes.
Well, looking at both sides here, for the Hawks, I think why not? Because you're going to have 3 for 1, and of course Reddish. Could be a great young player. We don't know yet. Parker, a solid, middle-aged player? Middle-aged for NBA standards.
Let's not go middle-aged.
A solid veteran player. And then Turner, again, solid off the bench. Pretty good scorer. None of these guys are going to do anything for Atlanta in the coming years as far as taking them to the next level, unless you really think Reddish. It's basically all what you think Reddish is going to become. What is he going to be?
But I think that they may be
is there.
Yes, I think they might benefit more at getting Drummond, getting those rebounds, getting that big guy in.
It's a lot harder to find a
that
big guy that dominates
for sure
than a wing guy that dominates. Okay, so yeah, I would rather have Drummond than these 3 guys. Okay, end of story. And for Detroit, this still is a fair deal because, again, giving up Drummond, but you don't know. You're taking a chance, and I think Reddish could be a nice piece to build around, so I'm going to go A minus.
Wow, very good.
I think it's good on both sides.
I like it. All right, okay. Let's take our next look. Now, so here's another scenario. Wow. Okay. So he's going to the Thunder this time.
Now here's another guy that's been in trade talks a lot too. We haven't done an episode on him yet, but Steven Adams.
Oh, Steven Adams. Yeah, he's a pretty big beast. Like I always
Thunder
think,
from down under.
Yes, very much so. Okay, and that would make sense, right? He's been with Thunder for a few years, right?
His whole career. I mean, I don't know how long he's been. Several years. So Adams, again, a really solid player, good defender. Similar role to Drummond. Obviously, he's not leading the league in rebounds. In fact, interesting, Adams has never averaged double-digit rebounds in a season. He's having his career best right now with 9.9. So still kind of in his prime. One of the more consistent centers, I guess you would say. Not quite the scorer either, though, of Drummond. But this looks like you're just swapping out the same thing, but Drummond is kind of like a better model. So why does this?
So why make the change, right?
Detroit?
So why switch this up? So I'm looking at that, and yes, Steven Adams has been with the Thunder his whole career, right? He's been in that situation. I love watching him play. He's an aggressive player. He's always ready to be on the court and is always giving 110% for sure. And so I have to look at the numbers, right? We have to look at the stats. Like what's going to make them better? What's going to make this different for them?
Well, the only difference, okay, so why would Detroit do this? Because you're giving up Drummond for Adams. That's not an upgrade, and it's the same position. And in fact, if you look, it's the same salary. All right, so they're not really getting relief here It's not as if you're getting,
No,
similar
you're
assets for
getting
a lot
one
cheaper.
second round
You're getting a
pick.
second round pick. Now, does a second round pick, is that going to move you to make a deal? It
Well, it
shouldn't.
depends on who your pick is.
Yeah, well, even if
I'm
it's a
from the
good, it's
San
a second
Antonio
round
Spurs.
pick.
I've seen a couple of
Um,
good second
well, there's
picks.
very few teams that can count on a second round pick becoming, a rotation guy. But anyways, to me, yeah, Adams is in trade rumors. Yeah, Drummond's in trade rumors. They might get dealt, but not for each other. There would have to be another piece here that Detroit would be getting,
Exactly.
even if it's not a major piece.
This is definitely not an upgrade. It's definitely a fail for me.
It's not terrible. I'd go C maybe.
C minus for me.
Yeah.
C minus. Okay, so let's take a look at this scenario. So we have the Kings. Interesting that the Kings are
Interesting.
involved this time. And the Kings would get Andre Drummond and Markieff Morris, right?
Markieff, your brother Markieff.
Yeah, Markieff. Okay. Morris brothers. Y'all are killing me. Okay, so then the Pistons would get Dwayne Dedmon.
Dedmon.
Yes. They're going to
Dead
get,
man walking.
yeah, they're going to get Dedmon. And then they're going to get Bogdan Bogdanovic. And then Nemanja Bjelica.
We talked about him.
Wow.
He's a riser. Kind of a riser.
Yes.
And a couple of second round picks that nobody cares about.
That's okay. Wow.
So what do you think of this package? It's interesting here because, first of all, the Kings being in
Why
trade
are
talks
the-
are always interesting.
Why are the Kings wanting to get, wow, give that up? How is
Well,
that going to help them? They're
the
taking on a
Kings-
huge salary.
Well, getting Drummond definitely would help.
Yeah.
Now,
I would take it on if I could afford it.
This is a similar situation to Atlanta, sort of, is the Kings not really a contender. Yeah, they want to build a young core, and maybe this will, kind of help for the future, and maybe not so much this year.
This is interesting. I actually,
know.
whoever put this out there for Trade Machine, I like
Props.
this. Yes, I
Props,
like
Steve.
this scenario. This is very interesting.
It's interesting, Drummond going there. They trade Dedmon, which is he's been disappointing this year. He's not started, but they still have Bagley and they still have some other big men. But they'd be trading also Bjelica.
Yes.
So yeah, that's not a loss to them. Bogdanovic, solid player. Let's look at the Pistons side. So for the Kings, yeah, you're not giving up anything that you're going to be too sad about if you're getting Andre Drummond. What about Detroit, though? Getting that package of solid, but not necessarily franchise players. Like with Cam Reddish, he's a rookie, a guy who has all this potential. Dedmon, he is what he is. He's a backup center, right? Bogdanovic, a solid player. He's probably like what you see is what you're going to get, right? And then Bjelica, he's on the rise.
He's
a
up
solid
and coming,
player, but
though.
what's his
He
ceiling?
is.
But what is his ceiling really? All-star? I don't know.
You don't think so? Okay, so I'm looking at numbers. They're all 2- and 3-year contracts. The money is
Right.
about the same.
And this is not salary relief at all for Detroit. This is
No.
trying to get a
No,
group of
it's
guys
not.
that might help you win next year. Really, realistically.
I think it's kind of interesting, though. I'd like to see how the Pistons would be
It's
able to
interesting.
work them into their system.
And that might work. I mean, you're filling needs, right? You're
Mm-hmm.
getting a center. You're getting a big guy to replace,
Center.
Griffin,
I
right?
know. Well,
Like,
nothing
Dedmon's solid.
compares to Andre. He's the lead.
So that's the
nothing
thing. All right, I mean, what do you give
compares.
it?
I don't think it's that bad, honestly.
Okay, like what? Like
B
B?
minus.
B minus?
B minus.
I mean, I would go probably C plus.
Okay.
It's not
So we're
bad.
pretty
It's
close.
not bad. It's
We're
solid.
pretty close. In agreement. Yeah. That's interesting. Good job, whoever put that out there. All right, so let's take a look at the next scenario.
the
Ooh,
Mavs.
interesting. The Mavs don't need to be in this conversation.
we
You're
don't
solid. We don't want
Dallas
you
to
getting
improve in
better.
any way.
You're doing just fine.
No, Dallas don't
Oh
require
my
anybody.
God, they do not need Andre Drummond. Okay, so I'm gonna give this an F.
There you go.
Okay, so we give. Okay, so Andre is going to the Mavs with Bruce Brown.
You.
Huh? Yeah. Woo. Okay. Sorry, that looked like a W. Okay. And then the Pistons would get Tim Hardaway Jr., Dwight Powell, round 2 pick, round 1 pick in 2025. Whoa, you
2025.
gotta
Yeah,
wait.
don't get too
You
excited.
gotta wait.
Now it's interesting because I read the comment below. Sometimes I'll read the comments here for whoever posted this. Somebody
Right.
else said
Yeah.
terrible trade, not because you'd be giving up Andre Drummond, but because Bruce Brown is the future of the franchise. Not kidding. Somebody said this. Bruce Brown is going to be a
Oh,
fixture.
that's okay to have a Bruce Brown fan
Hey,
advocating for him.
I'm a fan.
Yeah.
But anyways, this would be giving up because you say, okay, well, Tim Hardaway is, good piece.
Yeah.
But Bruce Brown, not saying he's going to be a Tim Hardaway, but I mean, that's not really a massive upgrade there. And obviously Powell from Drummond, that's a massive downgrade. If it was Drummond alone, I think this would be probably more reasonable.
Yeah.
But Drummond and then Brown, I mean, Hardaway, based on the money he makes, you'd think he'd be better.
Well,
but
and that's the thing. They're taking on a larger salary and years in Dwight Powell's contract.
and that's another thing.
Like,
Goodness.
is that really worth you
I
getting
don't
rid
know.
of your... I don't know. For me,
Yeah.
it's not looking too good for the Pistons.
No.
And I'm sorry, Dallas. No, you're not going to improve any
No,
more than you
that-
already are.
No. Someone wanted Dallas to make this deal.
Yeah.
What
Dallas
do you think?
fan. I would have to give this a D.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna go
I'm
low.
gonna
I was
dump
gonna go
on
that
this one
low.
with a D.
I was gonna say C minus. No,
Did I
sorry.
just say
it's not
that?
C
I
minus.
didn't mean it that way.
Of course you
No.
did.
Cool. All right. So up next we have, ooh, interesting. We have the Raptors this time.
Before we get into the details here, quick question: do you see the Raptors making a move at all? Because obviously this is a team coming off a championship, but without their franchise player, whose name we shall not mention here.
No, we're not going to mention him.
In San Antonio. But do you think, I mean, they've been surprisingly good. I'll tell you that because our
They're
preseason
doing
show,
very well.
I predicted
Yeah.
them to come out of the
Yeah.
gate slow, and I said that they were going
Mhm.
to struggle this year. Obviously, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Could they contend with what they have now? Basically the same team minus
Minus
that
one
guy.
player. Yeah.
Or do they need to make a push? Do you think they make a deal for a guy like Drummond or anybody?
I don't think they need to.
Okay.
I don't think they need to.
I don't think they will.
I don't think they need to touch it. Not yet.
Not yet.
Let's see
No,
what we
okay.
can make happen this year. Let's see how it unfolds this year for them, and let's see how far it goes. And then next year, if it didn't work out, then you might want to make a change in your roster. But for what I see, they're still highly competitive.
See,
And they're
yeah.
maintaining a very nice record. So
See if you can squeeze one more year out of Ibaka and Gasol.
just see how it unfolds. See how it happens.
All right. Well, if they don't, if they decide to go for it and get Drummond, then let's see what that would take.
All right, let's take a look. So they would get Drummond, but they're going to have to give up Ibaka. And, I get that. He's older. He's been in the league for a while. He's been on a few teams.
Not quite. I mean, he hasn't dropped off, off a cliff or anything, but he's not the same guy he was a couple years ago, right?
Right. And then they would also be getting
Chris Boucher and a couple of draft picks, which is what makes it interesting here for Detroit because a couple of draft picks for this coming year, round 1 and round 2 in 2020.
Wow. So do we know who's coming up in this draft? Are there any hot players coming off of?
Are they eligible to play?
Yeah.
Are they going to be eligible in the first place? That's the thing.
Yeah.
But no, they're not. It's not going to be. Probably not going to be a super high pick anyway.
Right.
So no, you don't.
haven't heard much of that.
In the NBA, you don't place your bets on it. It's not like the
Not
NFL.
just like a round 1 or round 2, right?
So, but
Okay.
it's an asset, right? They're assets to have. Okay, Boucher, decent young player, and then Ibaka, and then if you don't like Ibaka, then you're done with him
release.
because 1
Yeah.
year. So that's the
Well,
flexibility.
and that's the thing. They do have flexibility with this trade. It's a 1 and 2 year
Yeah.
contract, and it is,
with some draft picks.
significantly less.
So this would be more of a rebuild, right?
Yes. So it gives them some leverage. It gives them some work room.
So what do you think for the Raptors? Basically swapping out Ibaka for Drummond.
Oh, the Raptors would
mean, is this a
definitely
no-brainer for them?
benefit with this trade for sure. Oh, God, yes.
To me, it's
If I was the
no-brainer.
Raptors, I would go for it. However, I don't see the Pistons doing this. I don't see how this would help them I mean, I see how it helps them a
Well,
little bit.
it helps them financially by
If they're
giving them
wanting to
flexibility.
give up on the team,
Yeah, this is a rebuild
rebuild,
move, pure and simple.
right. And if that's
Which maybe that's what it takes.
I, some teams
I
need to
mean,
rebuild.
yeah, so they didn't want to. They thought they could win this year, and it's not happening. So,
Yeah.
what do you think?
Okay, so for me, I don't know. Maybe it's not too bad. Maybe I'm going B minus.
I think B plus because it makes total sense for the Raptors. I mean,
God, for sure.
instant upgrade there, and this is a chance to go for it again, right? Because the East is vulnerable. I mean, there's still some top heavy teams here. That I'm not saying that going through Milwaukee and Boston or Miami is a joke, but
No,
there's still
no,
an
not
opening.
at all.
There's an opening for
There
them.
is. There is. It's pretty tight up top, but
And then for Detroit, I mean, if you're going to rebuild, this is the way to do it, right? You get a big expiring contract, you get a couple draft picks, and that's it.
it's not
So,
too
yeah,
bad.
B
So
plus.
B minus for me. Okay.
B plus.
All right. Okay, so up next we have Andre going to the Warriors. Wow, and Tim Frazier. Okay, so those are both coming from Detroit. And then, so it's just a two-team trade again. And Detroit would be getting D'Angelo Russell and Willie Cauley-Stein. We've talked about Willie. He's been in a couple of trade scenarios.
Yeah, I mean, he's a expendable asset there. I
Two
think he's a
years,
little
2
bit
million.
undervalued, to
It's
be
just kind
honestly.
of, I know, but I see it as a,
Yeah, it's a throw-in. Frazier for
right.
Stein, that's a throw. Okay, so let's talk about Drummond basically for D'Lo. Now, I'll let you weigh in before I do.
Oh my goodness. For me, I would rather be receiving Drummond to the Warriors.
Okay.
For me.
Because of fit or because you know harder to get a big guy than a point guard or
For me, it's so much harder to get a big guy who can actually do their job
true
and
in
do it
these
well. It really is.
in this day in the NBA, it's true. Okay, so let me repeat what I've said because we've seen D'Angelo Russell's name in a couple of other our Trade Machine episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Why the hell would Golden State go to sign him and then immediately trade him in the middle of a tank? All right, let's just call it what it is, a tank
It
of
is
a
the tank
rebuild.
season for them.
He's younger than all these other players that supposedly might get traded for. Why would they do? Are they even entertaining trading D'Angelo Russell? Because they're not. I don't think they are. He's not going to get moved. But people keep wanting him to be traded. It can work.
Is
All
it
right.
because
It can work.
other teams, other people want him on their team?
Yes, I think so. But I'm
It's
sorry.
envy.
Clay ain't coming back this year. Steph is probably not coming back this year. They need him at least to get through this year. And I know
Yeah.
they're going to kind of preserve him, keep him bubble
Mhm,
wrapped or whatever.
mhm,
And they're
mhm.
thinking, well, next year, how's it going to work? Oh, really? Having too many good players is a problem just because they happen to play a similar position? They can't play three guards? That's not going to work? Okay, just get over it. D'Lo's not going anywhere. He shouldn't be going anywhere. And you know what? I wouldn't even do this if I was the Warriors. Because why do you need Andre Drummond? Because you're not competing this year anyways.
I know you're not competing this year, but tell me, is he not better? Is he not
Um,
better than Willie Cauley-Stein?
Yeah, but
I mean,
it just doesn't make sense. Keep Russell with the contract you gave him. Stop pretending that Golden State's going to win the championship next year just because Steph and Clay, Splash Brothers are coming back. Get over it. Keep Russell. Be happy. That's it.
all right. So I know where you're going on this grade.
D for D'Lo.
Okay, for me it was a C minus. I didn't go that bad. I wasn't that hard on it, but yes, it's a C minus for me. I don't see it really benefiting either team on this one. All right, everyone. So this is the trade machine this time with Andre Drummond.
Andre Drummond. Keep your eyes peeled. See what happens here. If any of these trades come true, we call it first. No, actually, it's not true. The trade machine called them, right? We just pull from there and we evaluate and analyze. We tell you whether we liked it or not. So if any of these trades happen, we'll give our 2 cents, like always.
Yeah, and tell us what you think. Who do you want to be traded for Andre Drummond, and where do
Yep.
you want him to go, if any? Or do you want him to stay put and say, can't have him?
That's right. Piston fans, chime in
All
to keep
right.
him.
Don't forget to make sure that you follow us on all social media. Thank you so much to our subscribers. We appreciate you. Don't forget to hit that notification bell because we are full-timers. And we try to put out our videos as consistently as we can. So that notification bell just helps you to know when it's out there.
That's right. From now until the deadline, we're going to be dropping as many of these episodes as possible. Trade Machine will be in constant motion. So thanks for watching. And of course, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Check out any of our other videos too.
Excellent. Thank you so much for joining us today. We will see you in the next one. Always peace and love, everyone. Peace and love. And NBA.
Yeah.
Belizia. Nemanja Belizia.
Nemanja. The J is like a Y.
Yeah. Nemanja
Bjelica.
Belizia. Okay, I have to get this right. Okay. Yes, someone who's leading you. Duck face.